Aren't you tired of boring and predictable podcasts? Remember the movie Groundhog Day? Ugh. The only thing predictable about this show is that we're guzzling booze. Count on it. This is the Appleboys podcast. Appleboys.us. If it's NFTs, music festivals, sporting events, strip clubs, current events, or masturbation techniques. Did I read that right? There's more than one? Fueled by, but not sponsored by, Miller Lite. This is the Appleboys podcast. Now your hosts, Josh, Corey, Rob, and Jimmy. Rob has issues. Just saying, bro.
Are you fucking kidding me? We just hit record.
It wasn't my fault.
Can you turn it down?
I clicked on an article and it was like, here's the audio.
Can you turn it off?
Jesus, Jimmy, there's a reason that they say, please silence your cell phone.
Can you be a goddamn professional while we're fucking recording and we have a hot mic?
You guys are so annoying.
What's up, everybody? It's Josh with the Appleboys podcast. I'm here with Rob. What's up, Rob?
Hello, my name is Rob.
And I got Jimmy.
It's Jimothy.
Hello, Jimothy. We are, for the second week in a row, sans Corey. He is out partying with some goth people, local goth sceners.
Yeah, that's that's kind of his crowd. He's just like an elder goth.
He is.
Yeah, without dark hair and mascara.
Well, he doesn't need to do that anymore.
He's grown up now.
Yeah.
Yep. What show is he going to see? He's at some show. Voltaire.
Sounds like one of them goth shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. So we got a jam-packed show tonight. Got a big rundown that we just went through. All kinds of stuff to talk about, probably. I know at some point tonight we're going to be talking about a free dinner with Legos.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be talking about some child pornography.
Ooh.
Oh.
Jimmy's going to bring in some pop culture, some news, some things about that. We're going to talk about some of our upcoming bonus episode ideas. And we're just going to see where the night takes us. So, Rob, why don't you get us kicked off? You said, you told us pre-show while we were pre-gaming that you recently received some sort of free meal.
I did, yeah. So I'll just get right into it, I guess. So I had as you guys know, I work in sales, and a good part of the sales process involves, to an extent, some schmoozing, right? And, I have to kind of be a little bit, flexible when it comes to certain things. And there are certain times where I have to do stuff that I don't really want to. And, it's all part of the process, right? And it's never anything outwardly fake. That's important to note. Like, if I really don't agree with something or something like that, I'll just say no. Like, we're good. But I was on the phone and with a long-term client, and he's never really bought a whole lot, but he's always been super nice. And he calls me out of the blue, and he's like, "Hey, man, I need this thing. Do you have this thing?" I said, "No one has that thing, man. You're gonna have to really get lucky to get this thing." And he's like, "But I want this thing." I said, "No, you can't have that thing. No one has that thing." And so he's like, "Oh, all right. Go ahead."
Was it a graphics card or a PS5 or something?
It was a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I figured.
So he's looking for a PS5, and he's like, "Yeah, I just want to buy winter. I do a bunch of stuff outside during the summer and the spring, but I can't do that during the winter, and I lose my mind if I can't do something." And
should have sold them a fidget spinner.
I should have, yeah. That'll help for 5 minutes. And
I don't know, man. I can spend hours with a fidget spinner if it's a good one.
Really?
Yeah, first time I got a fidget spinner, I couldn't sleep for days. I was just spinning.
Oh.
It's very addicting. Jimmy's being a little bit...
I get it to an
facetious.
extent.
Am I being facetious?
You know what I did for one summer when I was bored, and it's kind of fidget spinny, but
Oh no, are you talking about your dick again?
no.
Oh,
God, Jesus, man.
wasn't some kind of helicopter situation?
No, I wasn't fidget spinning my cock.
You guys been to meatspin.com?
Please stop.
Yes, I have.
Don't go to meatspin.com.
So please, Jimmy's mom, don't do it.
Go on, do it.
So no, I like was trying to learn magic and it didn't go well. So instead of learning magic, I just started throwing the cards.
I have a magic story after you're done.
Okay, I'm excited. But the card throwing thing was cool because I would throw it at like styrofoam and it would stick in the styrofoam. And I was like, yo, this is sweet. I'm fucking Gambit. But I definitely wasn't. So anyways, couldn't get this man a PlayStation 5. And he was like, oh man, all right, whatever. And I was like I was nice on the phone about it. And he's like, hey man, I gotta tell you something. I'm like, all right, listen, don't judge me. I'm like, okay. What's up, man? And I'm like starting to worry a little bit. He's like, hey, I've gotten into this thing recently and I need to tell you about this, but seriously, don't judge me. And I'm like, okay, what is it? It's like, I've gotten into Legos recently. I'm like, Legos? And he starts talking about it. He's like, I've spent like 15 grand on Legos this year.
15 grand?
$15,000?
Yeah.
Like US dollars?
US dollars.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and I was like,
What the fuck?
So at this point, I'm like, at first I was like, fucking Legos, really, man? But then I was like intrigued. I'm like, what did you spend 15 grand in Legos on? And so I'm aware that Lego packs can be very expensive. Like if you get like a Millennium Falcon or something, it's like $3 grand alone.
I think like $300.
No.
Depends on the size.
Yeah, if you get like the big one.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's telling me about some of his stuff, and he's got like the Magic Kingdom castle that like you build the whole thing, but it's like a dollhouse on the backside. So the front side looks like what you see on the pictures and
Business
stuff.
in the front.
Yeah, party in the back, and it opens up, and you can like do stuff with all the rooms and stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, that'd be great for the kids. And he's like, my fucking kids don't touch my fucking Legos. And I'm
Fair.
like, oh okay.
Fair.
So he's going through everything. He's got like a Batmobile. He's got, a bunch of cool stuff. And he's like, do you want to see him? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And I thought he was going to send me pictures or something. So I was acting excited about it.
Just want you to come over.
And he's like, how about you FaceTime me?
Oh.
And I was like, I don't really want to do that.
Yeah.
Just because it's kind of weird. It's not like, you have clients that you're like kind of friends with, and like that would be fine. But he's not like kind of my friend. He's just a client that I'm nice to. So he's like, yeah, just we'll FaceTime later tonight. It'll be fine. And I'm like, okay, this is getting weirder. I was like, yeah, maybe, but I do have plans tonight with my girlfriend, and he's like, oh. What are you guys doing? And I'm like, oh, we're going to dinner. He's like, all right, well, yeah, that's fine. We can do it some other time or something. I'm like, yeah, sure. So I hang up, and he calls me right back. And I thought it was a mistake, but I answered anyways. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? And he's like, the tone changes, and he goes, where are you going to dinner?
Oh.
And I'm like, we didn't have plans at all. I just made that up.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to FaceTime this man.
Right.
So the first thing that came to mind was Bonefish Bar and Grill. I was like, we're going to Bonefish.
Yep.
Seafood Applebees.
It's a date night. Yeah, super nice, expensive seafood in Applebees. But yes, seafood Applebees for sure.
Bonefish is the same price range as Outback, which is Australian Applebees.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Bonefish is expensive as fuck.
Yeah.
No, it's Outback.
No.
I promise you, based on the meal that I enjoyed the other couple weeks ago.
What did you get? The Chilean sea bass?
Fucking
baller.
I'll go through it. So at this point, he's kind of like whispering, and he keeps asking me questions about the evening. And he's like, hey, what time will you be there? And it just gets weirder and weirder. And it's actually quieter than that on the phone. Like he's literally whispering to me. I just want you guys to be able to hear it.
Trying to go on a date?
I don't know what was going on, but the man wanted me to FaceTime with his Legos. And now he's asking me about dinner plans.
Right.
And so I'm like, and I'm answering about this like fake dinner reservation that I have with my girlfriend. So he goes through all the questions, like what time are you going to be there, all that stuff. And then he's like, keep your phone handy. I'll call you in 5 minutes. And I'm like, uh-oh, this isn't good.
Yeah.
So sure enough, he calls me like 5 minutes later. And meanwhile, I'm texting my girlfriend like, hey, I think I fucked up.
Hope you're hungry for Chilean sea bass.
Yeah,
We're going to Bonefish.
I was like, hey, what time do you get off work? Because I think we actually have to go to this. And she's like, I get off at 7. I'm like, perfect. We're going here. It's date night. You're welcome.
Yep.
And so he calls me back, and I still don't know what to expect. I don't know if he's coming or what's going on. And he's like, hey, you said Bonefish, right? 2 people. 7:30. And I'm like, yep, that's it. He's like, great. You're going to talk to the manager whenever you get there. Tell her my name. Tell her your name. Dinner's on me, pal.
Oh, man.
What a nice guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Why does he got to be so weird about it?
yeah, he was kind of weird about it. But I was like, oh, okay, cool. Are you coming? And he's like, no, I'm not going to fuck up your date night, man.
Oh.
And I'm like, are you serious, dude? And he said, no, I'm just fucking with you, man. You don't get free dinner. Yeah, of course I'm serious, you fucking idiot. Go enjoy. And I'm like, oh, thanks. And
what a roller coaster. Like,
real
are
roller
you serious?
coaster.
Are you not? Are you
Yeah.
serious? Are you not?
but he's like, no, you said 7:30. Go talk to this lady. She'll get you taken care of. So
All right.
I get there at 7:35, and I get a call from the client, and he's like, hey, where you at? I'm like, in the parking lot. What do you mean? I thought you weren't coming. And he's like, no. The manager called me and said that you weren't here yet. So I just wanted to see if you were there. And I was like, no. I'm in the parking lot waiting for my girlfriend. She'll be here in a second. We're good. He's like, great. Tell him my name. I'm like, okay. So we get in the restaurant, and one other detail I totally forgot. On the phone with me, he said, listen, don't feel bad about the money. If you go in and order cheap shit, I will have them bring one of everything on the menu to your table.
Oh.
Order whatever you want. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So we get to the restaurant, and they're like, we've been expecting you. Like, they're like on the ball. They're like excited. They've got a fucking team set up for us.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is happening?
That's wild.
So I think this guy paid up front for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it was like, he was like, hey, take, like, here you go. Get whatever you want.
Yeah.
And I thought he was kind of kidding about that, but we get to the table, and she was like, hey, what do you want to drink? And I'm like, I'm probably just going to start with water. And she's like, cool, our drink menu's right here. And I'm like, yeah, I'll kind of look at it. And she's like, no, you have to buy a drink. Like, this guy specifically said
Oh my God.
that you need this.
That's
And
so weird.
They're gonna
Yeah.
like roofie you at the Bonefish.
so, and it was like that for everything. She was like, what appetizer do you want? I was like, do we have a choice?
Calamari?
Yeah, yeah. So, we go through the whole thing, and I'm like adding this shit up in my head, and it's well over $100 for 2 people.
Yeah.
Because it was like drinks, appetizer, mains, and then we're on the way out, and I'm like super full, and she's like, what dessert do you want? I'm like, no. And she's like, you can take it to go. I'm getting you a dessert.
Oh boy.
Okay. So I ordered, I can't remember what it was. It was maybe a key lime pie. I don't know. It was good though. Anyways, the dinner was fantastic. And I like lean in at the end. And I'm like, did he like take care of you guys, or are we good? And she's like, no, we're good. So he must have fucking just
Probably gave him like $300 and was like,
500 maybe.
yeah, go wild.
I don't know, man. But yeah, it was a wild night that I immediately felt bad for as soon as I left the restaurant, because I was like, fuck, I feel so bad, because I brought this up because I didn't want to see the guy's Legos and FaceTime with him.
So you denied his Legos and then
got a bunch of free shit.
got free
out of it.
dinner.
Yeah.
That's a win-win.
Yeah. I mean, immediately.
That guy knows what he's doing though, because now
Now you have to
he
see
knows
Legos.
that you're indebted to him,
Yeah.
and that you owe him, and like you're gonna take care of him. So
Oh, yeah. That man is getting a PlayStation 5 as soon as one is available.
Yeah.
Yeah. As well as probably a bunch of other shit. So.
Oh yeah.
you might even throw in a year of PlayStation Online or whatever the fuck it's called.
You never know. I could.
True.
But yeah, that's the first time that's ever really happened to me. I've gotten like small gifts and stuff like that before from like a job well done. Well, I say small gifts. I've gotten a bottle of Opus One before, so
Nice.
That's
small.
not a small gift.
No, it's not. It's not at all.
How much is that?
At the time, it was like $2.50 a bottle.
Not
I
bad.
think. I don't know what it is now. It's probably a lot more.
I think the most I've ever gotten is like $100 tip at work.
Yeah, that's happened. That happens, relatively often. But
The last time that I got a $100 tip, which I haven't been in a position to get tips in a long time, but I happen to have gotten one within the last like 2 years, and it was a $100 cash tip, and I basically didn't do anything, and I felt really guilty for taking it, but the guy was like insistent that I take it, and I felt like super guilty about it. I did not want to take it, so that $100 bill sat in my wallet for months, and I was intentionally not spending it because I was looking for the right opportunity to use it for something good, like pay it forward or whatever.
Strip club?
Wasn't going to use it for anything.
sure.
Strip club.
No. So I went down to Florida to visit my dad to help him move back to back home from Florida. He was there on a long-term work assignment. And we were at a local seafood restaurant in the Bradenton, Sarasota area. It's called the Anna Maria Oyster Bar. And if you're in the Bradenton, Sarasota area, I highly recommend the lobster bisque from there. It's to die for.
Sounds wonderful.
But they had this rubber duck race for charity going on, and you sponsor ducks. And so for every duck you sponsor, you get a chance to win a Jeep or something. I don't know.
All right.
Something. And it's to help like homeless children. So it seemed like a really good cause. So the ducks are like $1 or $2 each, but they have this like platinum donor tier where if you spend $100 in ducks, you get like 150 ducks or something. So like you get way more ducks and you're like a platinum donor. So your name's on a banner and stuff like that.
That's why you have a Jeep.
So I had the $100. Well, I haven't heard back yet whether I won or not. Like it happened in Florida and I put my name on this thing and I'm like, I don't live here. Do I have to be here at the duck race to win? And they're like, no. We'll call you if you win. I was like, well, how do I know? Like, you're not just going to check and see that I don't live in the state and you're just not going to call me.
Yeah.
Like, it's all above board. We'll call you.
You know.
Hey, it's for charity, pal.
Yeah.
So anyway, I took my $100 tip and donated it to homeless children.
Very
and bought
good.
ducks.
Well, I mean, hey, that's a good use of that money.
It is.
I felt like it. And I got to take a picture with the duck.
Oh, that's cool.
They had like a life-size person in a duck costume.
That's a real win right there.
They're not there all the time. They just happen to be there. Like they strolled it out after I gave the $100. I was like a big deal, sort of like you at the Bonefish, where they're like rolling out the red carpet. There's like this siren that went off, like we got a platinum donor here. Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
That's all I got to say about that.
Well, I heard that there was magic involved, and I want to know about this.
Yeah, so you mentioned magic, and I recently went on vacation to Myrtle Beach, and while there, I went to so Myrtle Beach has two like outdoor shopping mall type areas. One is called Barefoot Landing, and one is called Broadway at the Beach. And Barefoot Landing has been there forever. So as a kid, we always went to North Myrtle Beach for vacation, and Barefoot Landing is always where we went one night to like do our shopping and stuff. Broadway at the Beach is newer, so it's fully developed now. It's been around for a long time, but I can remember when it was being built and being developed. But Broadway at the Beach is more in like Myrtle Beach proper, which is where we stayed on this most recent vacation. So we were at Broadway at the Beach walking around, and they have this local Myrtle Beach magic shop chain, and they've got one at Barefoot Landing and one at Broadway at the Beach. And I remember every year at the beach, we would do a few things that were like rituals. So there was this bar we would go to called Duffy's. And I can remember going there with my dad as a kid and like just eating the saltine crackers that came with his oysters and listening as he talked to people and drank beer and stuff like that. And then I can remember being old enough to be able to drink with him, and you know that was like a coming of age type thing.
So you got food and drinks and he gave you crackers?
I liked the saltine crackers.
He liked them, James.
I yearned for them.
You yearned for the salty.
It was a beach tradition. We also every year
Sounds like child abuse.
we had the putt world championship. So Myrtle Beach is a big like golf area, and so they have tons of putt courses, and the putt courses they have there are designed by like world class golf course designers. So they're really good putt courses, and they're all over the place. So every year, me and my family would have a world championship putt tournament where we would play, and I would always get last place, but it was a lot of fun anyway. And there's a local grocery store chain in the area called Bull & O's, and I would get up super early with my grandfather and go get these donut pastry things called lady fingers.
Oh, lady fingers be hitting.
True.
That are so good.
So good.
And just all these different memories. And one of the memories is we would go to Barefoot Landing, and every year I would go to the magic shop, and they would do a trick. Like, they have these demonstrations, right, because they're trying to sell you their tricks. And they would do a trick or two or three or whatever, and then I would get to buy one magic trick every year, and I was building up my collection of magic tricks so that I could one day become a magician.
Like an arsenal.
Yeah.
Of tricks.
And so I never got good at it, but when my wife and I were at Broadway at the Beach this year, they had the same shop just at Broadway at the Beach, and we got to go in, and they did a magic trick for us. I didn't buy one, but it was a nice stroll down memory lane. I really like one of my favorite trick that I bought is a deck of cards that looks the size of a normal deck of cards, but the cards are like stuck together in a weird way, and so you can shuffle them where it just looks like a normal deck of cards, but then if you change the angle and the way you shuffle them, it looks like they're all blank. It's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Whenever I went to magic shops as a kid, I always got the ones that like fucked with people, like the sticks of gum that would shock you. You guys remember those?
That's really more of a trick shop than a magic shop.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they have those at magic shops,
Yeah.
but like those are tricks, not.
It's a magic trick shop.
Yeah. I just like fucking with people. I didn't like doing magic.
I had some. Well, I think everyone knows I grew up in Vegas at this point. But I grew up in Vegas, and magic is pretty big there. Surprise.
Oh yeah.
But they had some legit magic shops,
I'm
and
sure.
I was entranced when I was a child, and I also thought I was going to be a magician, but that didn't happen.
Thank God.
Yeah, it would be even fucking weirder than I am right now.
Somehow.
Horrifying.
I really think that the only time I had an ambition to be a magician was like one night a year when I was at the magic shop and they did the trick, and I was like, I want to do that when I grow up.
Yeah.
But then by the next morning, I'm like, that's kind of fucking stupid.
God, I wish that were me.
Yeah. Also, I'd like to announce Jimmy and I's new musical duo. It's called Ambition to be a Magician.
Yep.
You can follow us on Spotify.
Nope.
All right.
Veto.
Ambition magicians.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to rhyme that, but it was pretty good.
No, I liked it.
Yeah.
I was into it immediately.
It was fine.
So moving on,
All right.
I think everybody, after hearing that fire intro that I gave at the beginning of the episode, is on the edge of their seat waiting to hear what I have to say about child porn.
Wait, are we leaving the intro in where you just yelled at me for playing a video
yeah.
on my phone? Is
Absolutely.
For sure.
that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
No.
that's definitely not getting cut.
God
Yeah.
damn it.
Yeah, that was on purpose.
Sorry.
That's what you get for playing music on your phone after we hit record. This is sacred time.
Yeah. Everyone ready? Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Why did I bring it up just for you to shit on me again?
Yeah, get fucked, idiot.
GFI, baby.
All right.
Spread it around, boys. GFI.
Carry on, move on. I'm done shitting on myself.
All right, so I have a friend who is a local in our area computer repair person. So think like Geek Squad adjacent, like Nerd Herd type person, right? So
Okay.
you have a computer problem, call them, they'll solve it.
Okay.
Yeah.
In a vanilla way?
Yeah.
Mm.
So this guy brings his computer in, and he has lost a document, and he needs to get it recovered.
I think I see where this is going, and this is already horrifying.
And he tells them the document that you're looking for is called document number 5. That's what the
Okay.
name of the file is document number 5.
That's
Oh no.
not good.
and it's been deleted by mistake, and he needs them to recover it.
God.
So any reputable computer repair person is not going to go snooping around someone's computer
Right.
while they're doing repairs. Like, it's an ethical thing. Like,
Right.
you know, you're not going to look where you're not supposed to look. But in the process of doing computer repairs, if something's really obvious, there's also a moral obligation to see something, say something, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing if you're like if you're a psychiatrist and you have a patient that's like, I'm planning to blow some shit up.
Right.
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 You know, same shit.
Yeah. It's like you're not trying to put someone in a position to get them in trouble. But if something presents itself, you have an obligation to say something.
Yeah.
So they turn on the computer, which this guy brought to them knowing that they're going to be on the computer looking at stuff.
Right.
And right there on the desktop are like thumbnails of all this child pornography.
My God.
Just right on the desktop. It's not no attempt to hide it whatsoever. It's just right
Just
there.
brazen about it. Jesus
And-
Christ.
So my friend like runs this shop with a couple other people, right? So there's several people there, and he brings in some of the other folks to just like, is this what it looks like? Like, I mean, without opening any of the files, like this looks like this to you, right? Because to me, this looks like child porn.
Jesus Christ.
And everyone's like, yes, it
yeah,
does.
bro, that's child porn.
So obviously they're going to call the police, but they move forward with the recovery process to get this file,
Oh no.
and they are successfully able to recover document number 5.
Is this like Mambo number 5?
No, it's more like manifesto number 5.
Oh.
Oh.
And it's filled with hatred and vitriol and heavy use of the N-word and
Oh.
Just,
Jesus Christ.
like, just terrible stuff, right?
Why did you want to recover that?
I guess he spent a lot of time working on it and didn't want to lose it.
Oh.
He's like, this was the perfect use of the hard R in this regard. And
Yeah.
I don't remember how I did it.
His
We gotta figure it out.
yeah, his 4chan thread needs it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I guess they had whatever evidence they needed, and they called the local police department. And then the local police department came in, and they evaluated it and everything, and they took it in for evidence, right? And my friend had to call the guy and say, hey, we don't have your computer anymore. We've turned it over to the local police department, so you'll need to be in touch with them, or they'll be in touch with you regarding
That's his job?
getting the computer back.
Yeah, first off,
No fucking way.
that's a hard no.
Yeah.
I'm never, ever calling that person.
Like, hey, policeman.
Because then
yeah.
I'll get unibombed.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
All right.
Fuck that.
So the guy's like, okay, I understand. No problem.
I understand, no problem.
He seems very out of touch with reality, but
Oh.
that's what happened.
Okay.
And then,
Oh boy.
so the police took the computer, right? My friend calls the guy, and they assume that this is going to be like the last time they see or hear from this guy.
You'd hope.
About 5 days later, the guy comes into the shop
Oh.
and says, hey, I'm here to pick up my computer. And they're like, buddy, we called you. We don't have your computer. The police department has it.
Oh no.
And he's like, yeah, the police called me. They told me to come pick it up. And my friend said, I think they meant at the police station.
Yeah. Like,
And the
not
guy
here.
and the guy left, and that was the end of it. But apparently it was like a older white guy, like 60s, 70s.
Oh
Just-
God.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's fucked up. But also, there's not a single chance that I would, if I ever saw that person again, I'd be like, gotta go.
Yep.
Like, fuck that.
So this gives me a good opportunity. Recently, I've been trying to get people around me to watch the show Nathan For You, because
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. When you said this brings
No.
up, a good thing, I've been really trying to get people around me to watch,
No, no, no.
Just talking about
Child porn.
I'm a little worried over here.
I thought
but
that segue would be really funny, and
Jesus
it was.
Christ, buddy. All right, so
Edge of your seat.
tell us about Nathan for you.
So he's coming out with a new show. That's what's got me talking about it again. But it's one of my favorite shows. The whole premise of the show is it's kind of like just a reality show about helping businesses, but it's always in a fucked up, twisted way. The one that reminded me of this is he tries to help a computer repair shop by hiring asexual workers that won't be interested in any nudes that are on the laptop because they're not interested in sex. So he pitches it to the guy, and he's like all these people are kind of like forced into it because they're on this reality show, and they're like, yeah, if you think that'll work, let's do it. And he just hires these asexual workers to come in, and he like helps them during like the client process. Like when the client comes in, they're like, just to reassure you, our worker here is asexual and will not be interested in any explicit content you have on your laptop. And they're like, oh, okay.
That sounds really funny.
Yeah. There's also like probably my favorite episode, and it went viral like outside of the show. It was called Fake Starbucks, where literally they created a new coffee shop for this guy. He had a failing coffee shop, and they named it Fake Starbucks and put fake in front of like all their products and everything. So it would like pass like the parody law. And it was like a booming, crazy business in LA for about a month before it got shut down. Starbucks somehow won that.
Was it actually? Like,
yes.
Non-ironically, it was?
Yes. Like line out the door for a month.
Wild.
Well, I
This
mean,
is the same guy that had poo-flavored yogurt.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, he like got on the news and everything. Like in about probably 20 to 30% of the episodes, he somehow gets on the news. It's so good.
That's wild. Yeah, if you guys haven't checked it out, it is in fact pretty good.
Yeah, his new show, the whole premise is like a somewhat similar thing as far as like the overall theme goes of like just wild shit. I looked at the premise of the new episode. I haven't seen it yet, but this woman is preparing to like have a child. So he hires all these actors of different age ranges to live in her house for a certain amount of time to train her to prepare for what living with like different ages of kids would go.
Yeah.
So you suggested this show to me, and I watched the first episode the other night, and I told you earlier today when we were talking that to me it felt like a time thing. But then he also did these fake job interviews and had like earphone in or whatever where he could hear. And so like on the first interview, it was a little kid, like 6 or 7 or 8-year-old kid, and the kid could hear the interview questions, and whatever the kid answered, he had to answer with, which was kind of funny, but like the interviewer was obviously like, you're completely stupid.
I don't think I even remember the pilot, and I've seen the whole show like probably 6 times.
Well, then in another interview, he had a friend that was an adult that was trying to sabotage the interview. And at one point, like one of the answers to the questions that his friend told him to say was like, it was something like, what do you do in your spare time? And he's like, I'm a child molester. And
Jesus.
And so the guy was like, I'm not going to say that. And it's just like, that's the whole show. You gotta be more hardcore than that, you know? So I don't know. I'll give it another episode or two, but I'm not completely sold on it yet.
I would just skip to season 2.
It's
if you want to be real, then
is it higher definition in season 2? Because I also feel like I'm watching like a
probably
1980s VHS tape.
Season 1
season
had no
1.
budget,
That's very evident.
and then Comedy Central picked it up on season 2 and made it very powerful.
Maybe just started season 2 then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just a moment ago, I was talking about this show, and I had to stop to burp because the Miller Lite for some reason is affecting me tonight. The bubbles are getting to me, and the burp had a very distinct, disgusting teriyaki flavor.
Why is that, Josh?
But it was like a fake teriyaki. It was like artificial teriyaki. It was like teriyaki powder in my lungs.
Okay.
I got the same thing going on.
It's really gross.
Weird. Why is that?
Because you gave me some fucking nasty snack. Can you tell us what that was?
I like the snack.
Thank you, Jimmy. So I so graciously, as I do on a week-to-week basis, invited these chuckle fucks into my home.
Hey.
Truckle fuck?
Chuckle.
Oh, chuckle.
Yeah.
I thought you said truckle.
No. So I invited him over, and I was like, I've got a surprise this week. I've got some imported stuff from Japan, and you've got to try it. And Jimmy was like, is it Japanese weed? And I said, no, that's not real at all. I just thought it was funny.
I would never say that.
Yeah, okay.
Weed is outlawed in Japan.
Well, it is. And I think exporting weed from Japan may get you executed or something. I don't know.
I don't think you get executed. I think you execute yourself. It's Harry
Ah, yes, of course.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, anyways, I get these snacks from Japan, and it was like a month ago, but I ordered this. I was fucking ripped at 2 a.m., and I was on Amazon.com because that's what you do when you're ripped at 2 a.m.
Bad idea.
And I bought like a Japanese snack box.
Yeah, I remember this happening because Rob so graciously lets me use his Amazon Prime account because they haven't caught it somehow still.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, we live close enough.
Yeah, it's true. And so I get his notifications from Amazon because I want to know my order updates as well. And I'm on my phone at like 2:30 in the morning, and I just see, thank you for your order of Japanese snack assorted box. And I'm like, oh, yeah, Rob is fucked up. That's for sure.
Yeah. That happens, man. I ordered some other shit, too, that I can't remember, but it was also, it was the same kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
But it gets here, and we try everything, and everything is, like, pretty good. But there's, like, one standout snack to me, and it's a savory, like, stick. It's like a corn stick thing. And I looked it up, and it's called umaibo, which literally means delicious stick, which is really funny.
It sounds like that thing Nintendo came out with. It's little figurines you put on your Nintendo Switch or whatever.
Amiibos, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You kinda. Yeah, I don't know. It's
Those are character sticks.
Yeah. There you go.
They're not tasty. I've tried.
No. So, we try these, and there's a couple different flavors, and they gave us like 4 or 5 of them. And I was like, wow, that's so generous. That's a lot for a snack box, because it came with a bunch of other shit too, and it was like $20. I looked it up. These things are like $1 a piece, if not less.
Oh.
Yeah. So whatever. I tried it, and I was like, fuck, this one's good. And it was some weird flavor. I think it was like teriyaki. And the next one, and obviously they're Japanese snacks, so the shit is all in Japanese, and it's just colorful and poppy, and you're like, what is this?
Yeah.
But you have no fucking clue. Like, some of them have words on them, but it's pretty rare.
The mystery is kind of nice.
Yeah. Like, they have pictures on them that kind of, like, help you.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, there's a beef tongue flavored one.
Okay.
It's just a little picture of a happy cow with his tongue sticking out,
That's nice.
smiling. He's like, yeah.
I should do this.
Yeah.
Because, like, I go to the grocery store, and I just buy the same shit every time.
No,
But, like,
get global snacks.
Yeah, if it wasn't labeled, and I was just picking it by the pretty front of it, I'd be like, yeah, let's get this snack. And I'd try more things.
There are some local establishments where you can go and get this type of stuff locally. I know Amazon's a good option, but like,
Oh, yeah.
there's a place called Sunrise Supermarket or something like that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Bunch of weird Asian shit.
yeah.
We should
Nice.
just go there and get a bunch of it and do a review.
We
the
can do an
podcast.
unboxing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll become an unboxing.
Yeah,
Podcast.
No,
Let's do it.
We're not going to do that.
Why? It sounds so fun.
No.
All
no.
right. Just buy a bunch of shit.
No. But when I burp with this teriyaki thing that you fed me,
Yeah.
like, it's not just that I still taste it 45 minutes later or whatever it is, but it feels like it's permeating all of my, like, it feels like it's
entering
going through
you.
my veins.
Yeah, it's
Like,
entering.
Oh.
I feel the teriyaki flavor in my fingertips.
Yeah.
I feel it in my peen.
Well, the
I feel it in
Japanese
my
have
kneecaps.
they have like
my
a
weenus.
concept of chi, and it's your life energy. And
My
Shut
life
the fuck
energy
up.
is saturated.
they incorporate that into
teriyaki.
everything that you're gonna eat.
Shut the fuck up.
Fuck you. So The flavor that you got was actually teriyaki burger specifically.
Oh.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of different flavors, and I honestly thought that was going to be the most Josh-friendly flavor.
It was fine. I didn't want to throw up immediately, but it was also pretty gross, so I didn't finish it.
There's also a corn potage flavor, which is like a cream corn. It's also delicious.
That sounds wonderful.
I like cream corn.
Yeah. I'll go get you a cream corn stick if you want one.
I don't think I want one because I also like teriyaki.
Well, you never know. I'll do it.
I'd be willing to try it.
All right. Well, we'll take a break here in a second. We'll go do that. But anyways, the Amiibo sticks, I think they're fucking amazing. I think they're better than like most potato chips here.
Yeah.
And most other snacks for that matter.
Except for Tatoes.
Fuck you with your Tatoes.
Tatoes are great. Have we talked about Tatoes on the podcast?
No,
I don't know. Jimmy.
we have not.
So Jimmy also has an endeavor with international snacks, and his is it's not nearly as fun and exciting because you don't have a bunch of different sticks with different flavors
It's true.
and cool lettering and packaging.
So I've been told my entire life that my heritage is from Ireland, which my mom, Jimmy's mom, shout out Jimmy's mom,
Shout out Jimmy's mom.
Shout out.
said isn't true and it's actually Scottish. But anyway,
Hey,
I
Jimmy's
still
mom.
look.
I know you've been having some internet issues, but we miss you on the Discord.
That's true. We do.
Hit us up.
We do.
Discord.gg/Appleboys if you want to interact with us and Jimmy's mom because she's coming back.
It
Come
was
back,
j-
Jimmy's mom.
Speaking
Yeah.
of Jimmy's mom, you know what? It was her fucking birthday yesterday. Happy birthday,
Happy
Jimmy's mom.
birthday, Jimmy's mom.
Happy
Should we
birthday.
sing? No.
Jimmy. No, we probably
No.
shouldn't
It's
say.
gonna come out like
We'll
3 or
send her
4
a
days
DM,
later,
let's
but
sing.
happy birthday.
I do have a gift for you, Jimmy's mom.
Okay,
Yeah.
send it.
It's Rob's penis.
Stop.
No, you can't send my mom. No.
No, that's not what it was.
Okay.
Yes, it was. Stop it. He doesn't need to know.
Anyway, I'm also obliterated at 3 a.m. and I see someone on Twitter talking about these Irish potato chips and how they're great. These people put these fucking potatoes on everything. They're just like, it's basically a better version of Lay's chips, but it's also like, it's like more similar to like sour cream and onion Lay's, but way better. But they like put it between pieces of bread and just eat that as a sandwich with nothing else.
That sounds like
that's-
something I would do.
It does sound like
Jesus
a Josh
Christ.
meal.
Well,
It really does.
you might be Scottish or
But
Irish, I guess.
I ordered a bunch of these, and like 2 giant bags came. I gave one to Rob and kept one for myself. And I came over to Rob's house like 2 days later, and they were all gone. So I don't know, man.
They're good snacks. Don't
Very
get me
good.
wrong.
Very good potatoes.
Yeah, they are for sure. I don't know. International snacks in general just be hitting different.
Taters
To me.
precious.
That was at the same time I
Yeah.
ordered the Iron Brew.
Yeah, which is like I'm pretty sure that is the only beverage in the world that outsells Coca-Cola in any given country.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's actually accurate.
Yeah, because they're the number 1 drink of Scotland,
Yeah,
and that's like the only country that's not Coke. Yeah.
right.
Have you guys ever had the Beverly?
I don't think so.
I have.
It's so
What's that?
gross.
The Beverly is a special edition of Coke. It's like you know how Coke has like cherry Coke?
Yeah.
It's like one of those special flavors,
Okay.
but they made it only in Italy, and I think it was only in the 60s. And it may have only been for like a year or two.
So that like definitely has some kind of opiate in it, doesn't it?
No.
No,
Oh.
it wasn't only in the 60s. Like, you can still get it today at Epcot.
Well, I mean, I know it still exists, but I don't think you can like commercially like buy it. Like, I think you have to be at like World of Coke.
What does it
Or-
taste like?
According to Wikipedia, Beverly is a carbonated soft drink marketed as a non-alcoholic aperitif that was produced by the Coca-Cola
Oh.
Company for the Italian market, introduced in 1969. An aperitif is a drink consumed before a meal that is believed to help digestion. Following ongoing product consolidation in the Italian market, Beverly was discontinued in 2009.
Holy shit! It lasted 40 years. I didn't realize
wild.
that. I thought it was only for a couple of years.
However, you can still get it at Epcot. The bitter taste of Beverly has become familiar to many Americans who get a chance to try it at Coca-Cola tasting stations at the World of Coca-Cola Museums in Atlanta, Georgia, and Las Vegas, Nevada, as well as the Coca-Cola store at Disney Springs and at Epcot's Club Cool, both located inside Walt Disney World in Lake Buena Vista and Bay Lake, Florida.
So, Beverly kind of tastes like if you've ever had Fernet Branca.
No.
Okay, it tastes like Fernet, but without like Fernet is already like bitter. Like, it doesn't feel like it has very much sweetness to it. It is Fernet with like absolutely zero sweetness to it.
I see.
It
It's disgusting.
is not great.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah.
I was watching this video the other day. It was like 3 a.m., one of those video times where you just scroll through videos endlessly until you fall asleep.
Sure.
And it was these guys testing like random tricks about how to get rust off of like random things. And
Coca-Cola.
one of the most successful was Coca-Cola. And
Yeah.
it's so fucked up that everyone just drinks Coke all the time.
I am everyone.
Yeah, me too sometimes.
Well-
like, I've started drinking soda a lot less. I mainly fuck with, like, seltzer water now because it's a lot better for you.
It is, but like there's no question about that. However, like the thought that something that can remove rust is inherently bad for you.
I know.
Is
I know.
Just, I mean, it's not right.
I know.
Because your stomach acid is fucking powerful as well.
Yeah,
It is.
You've got like a pH in your tummy of like 1.8 or
Right.
something. Also,
You sound so smart sometimes, and then sometimes you sound so fucking stupid.
what did I say?
You sounded smart just now.
Hold
Oh,
on.
I'm
okay.
really impressed, but
I'm going to
sometimes
fact check.
you sound fucking stupid.
All right, well that's fair.
Jimmy's fact checking.
The duality of Rob.
I think this is a smart moment. I think you're right.
Stomach acid pH ranges anywhere from 1.5 to 3.5.
Yeah.
So you're right on track.
There you go.
buddy.
My ninja.
Yeah, it's no, it's very acidic down there, and it's crazy that like you can have it be so acidic that it like fucking puts holes in your shit. It's wild.
Even the knowledge of like 1.8 is a number that would be impressive in any way is impressive. Like you could have said your stomach has a pH level of 250 and I would have been equally impressed because I don't have the
Same
like
here.
I don't know.
I think it's from like 0 to 14.
Yeah, and I
I
don't
think.
know that,
Yeah.
right? I have no baseline for that. I was not a chemistry major in any part of my life.
You ever owned a pool?
Have not owned a pool.
Well, there you go. It's not as impressive now, is it?
Doesn't matter. Like
Coke-
it's impressive to me. You sound smart as fuck.
Well, thanks.
Coca-Cola is 2.6 pH.
I was gonna say Coke is probably not too far off.
Yeah.
Because of the phosphoric acid, I think.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, Coke. Well, what I was just gonna say, like, vinegar into like baking soda is gonna make it like,
Yeah.
explode. So you don't do that if you ingest vinegar. You don't explode.
Right.
Hey, you know how the Appleboys successfully brought back the maple butter blondie to Applebees?
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
What if we started a campaign to bring cocaine back to Coca-Cola?
I'm
Man,
down.
I would love that.
Let's fucking go.
We have the sway, obviously.
I mean, we've been effective in the past.
Have you guys ever had yerba mate?
Yeah.
It feels like there's Coke in there.
Do you know what that is?
That shit makes me so invigorated.
I don't know what yerba mate is, and I've also never done cocaine, so I wouldn't know what it feels like.
Well, I've done both, and I tell you what, buddy.
Sorry, Jimmy's mom.
She knows.
So
I told her.
yerba mate in general is a type of tea. But yerba mate specifically is, I think, Argentina's, like, basically their national drink, more or less.
Yeah, it's like a specific type of tea that's not available anywhere else, but it's not tea. It just tastes
Yeah.
like tea.
Yeah, mate is, I should have let in with that. Mate is not actually tea. It's like it's an herbal tea, which is not really tea. It's, yeah, anyways, this tea is, so, like, green tea has a different compound in it that is not caffeine, but it energizes you similar to caffeine.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what is in yerba mate. Like, it has a bunch of caffeine by default.
It
That's
does,
for sure.
yeah.
But there's something else in there that will get you going. And
Yeah,
that's why
'cause,
those
like-
Argentinians will do it.
Because, like, the yerba mate cans that you find regularly are a lot bigger than, like, a Red Bull.
Right.
And it says it has about the same amount of caffeine as a normal Red Bull. But it definitely fucks you up way more than Red Bull. Like, I am a live wire on that shit.
Yeah, and that's like the pre-made, sweetened version. If you, like, do a fresh made, like, yerba mate from home, that's even worse. Like,
Yeah.
it'll get you going.
I remember during the pandemic, like, when we were actually locked down and I was living with you because I just moved to this area.
Yeah.
You had, like, the leaf version. We tried that one morning and let it steep a little too long, and I
Yeah.
was ready to fucking go.
Yeah, we were
I was
fucked
like,
up. Yeah.
what pandemic? Let's party.
Yeah. I think that's the same same day that I recorded the fucking sword video. Right.
I think it is too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got this new samurai sword from this guy who gave it to you, and I was like, we need to like.
That's
cut.
such a great sentence. You got this new samurai sword from this guy. Like,
Yeah.
what was happening?
First off, the opposite happened, I think, because I think that was the sword that I got Corey,
Oh.
and I was like, we gotta test it out.
No, I was like, hey man, we need to like go to like the food store and get a watermelon. Like, we need to get some giant fruit and cut it in half.
Yeah, we were trying to play like
and you were
IRL
like,
Fruit Ninja.
nah, man, I'm not trying to like leave the house right now. And I'm like, okay, I'll be right back. And I like find all this shit to cut in half. And I have these slow motion videos on my phone of Rob doing like samurai stances and like making probably racist noises and being like, whatcha?
If you want to see Rob cutting fruit with Corey's samurai sword and making racist noises, check out our TikTok at Appleboys Pod in the next 5 days. We'll have it up.
Oh my god.
I'll make this happen.
I shouldn't have brought this up.
It'll be on Instagram too because I'm in control of that now.
Let's fucking go. By the way, that's a good point. Josh no longer manages the Instagram account. It's all Jimmy now. So send all complaints to hello@appleboys.us and they will be promptly ignored.
Yes.
Get fucked, idiots.
GFI, baby.
Man, that was a wild time though.
It was.
Just
That whole pandemic time, we were just shut down, like virtually alone in a house together with nothing to do was wild because we just did way too much weed because I brought back an arsenal from Oregon.
From the store.
Yeah.
Definitely didn't do any.
I definitely brought it across state borders.
Jesus Christ, Jimmy.
And, yeah, we were just obliterated all the time, watching like random YouTube trains of videos.
For legal reasons, the Appleboys would like to remind you that this is a parody podcast.
Fictitious.
All of this is made up.
It's
Fake,
all satire.
Fake.
All of it.
Scripted.
But yeah, I mean, we would just get high like at fucking 10 a.m. every day, and it was like, oh, we don't have to go to work,
Yeah.
but they'll still pay us.
Yep.
Oh shit!
It was so great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I had my wisdom teeth out at that time, which is a bad time to have your wisdom teeth out because all the dentist offices were like super weird and careful, which makes sense.
Yeah, they came in hazmat suits and shit.
Right. And I got home with all these drugs, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to take the whole round. And luckily I didn't get addicted, but it was a fun time.
Is there anything better in this world than the gas that just makes you loopy at the dentist office?
That shit's a double-edged sword. So apparently when I came out of my wisdom tooth surgery, I was talking to my girlfriend like in front of the nurse and doctor and everything, and I was like, bro, this shit's crazy. It feels like I'm on acid.
Yeah.
Right, but like outside of being embarrassed, is there anything better in this world?
No, that shit's great. We
Yeah.
should buy some of that. Do it on the podcast.
Oh god.
Get your
Gee.
cryptocurrency ready. Send it to India.
Yeah.
Bring it here.
Rev up the Bitcoin engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can buy that online from India with
You
Bitcoin?
totally can.
I'm sure you can buy anything online from. You can buy children online from India with Bitcoin.
You guys are way more morally bankrupt than I am, I think.
So since
What do you
this
mean?
podcast
I've never
is
bought a child from India with Bitcoin. I'm just saying you can.
But you know about it.
since this podcast is
Are
satire,
you on the dark web?
I've
No.
definitely bought drugs on the dark web.
How do you have a Tornet browser?
Yeah, you got to get Tor, and then
Stop. Are we
It's
really?
satire. It's a joke.
That's true. It's
not
it's
even-
all a joke.
my name's not
Hypothetically,
even
you can do
Jimmy.
this. That's
Okay?
true. All right, Hank.
So hypothetically, you've actually fucking done this?
Hypothetically, yeah.
What the fuck? Have you ever hired a hitman?
No.
Oh, that's where you draw the line. We can't talk about the hitman.
We
on
can't
the
talk
podcast.
about fucking murdering people, but we
Yeah.
can talk about buying illegal drugs on the dark web.
Yeah, because it's like talking to my therapist right now.
Where's
like,
Will?
They can't say anything unless
I
it's
don't know.
like
We need Will, right?
Murder.
You
murdering
know
someone.
that motherfucker's bought drugs on the dark web.
Yeah, for sure.
I definitely bought a psychedelic substance on the dark web, and it actually came to my house. It was-
And you trusted that it was safe, and you took it, you ingested it in your
So,
body, hypothetically. Like for fictional purposes only, if we're talking to fake Jimmy, you actually did that? Really?
Yeah, so jokingly, I bought a test kit to jokingly test it, and it was real.
Fake. Jimmy definitely did the drugs before testing them, and then like a year later, he had a tester kit and was like, I wonder if that shit was real.
Okay.
Oh, you're so stupid.
I haven't told this story.
You're so stupid. Okay, please tell it.
So I bought the acid on the internet. That's what it was.
All right, time out.
It was fake. I didn't do it.
Time out 1 second. This is absolute proof that this show that we do every week is not scripted. We don't have a rundown. We just roll with the punches, and whatever comes up, comes up. We didn't talk about fucking the state tea of Argentina in our rundown.
Nope.
We didn't talk about like any of the shit we've talked. We're at 59 minutes recorded. Like by the time you hear this, you're maybe 45 minutes into this episode because we had to cut out some shit. And now we're talking about buying drugs on the dark web. This was not in the rundown.
So we just go where we need to go.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm just so good at improv.
I love that about this podcast. Like our audience may not love how like ADD it is sometimes, where we bounce from place to place, but it's all organic. It's real.
Yeah, you may think we like cut this shit together and had to like splice some shit to make it work.
It's just our conversation.
No, this is how it goes.
This is a night at the bar with the Appleboys. That's what this is.
Now, don't get me wrong.
It's fully fictitious.
Oh, yeah.
This is just for entertainment purposes only. It's 100% scripted, but also there's no script.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, you bought acid on the dark web. Please go on. I'm sorry for interrupting.
I assure you, Jimmy's mom, this is all satire.
Satire.
And it's all improv, and I made all of this up just now. But yeah, I order the acid on the internet. It comes within a week, which is unreal, right? I do this crazy shit in order to actually like give them my address and everything, because it all has to be like encrypted, what you send them, and they have to like decode it with a key they give you. Crazy. Anyway, comes to my house. I'm like, oh, fuck, it actually came. This is crazy. It's like in this unmarked envelope with just my address and no... It actually had a return address, but it was like a random house in Pennsylvania. It was actually a business. I looked it up. But I was like, this will be great. I wonder when I'll do this. So this is like 2020, I think. Maybe 2019. I think it was 2020. I went to a music festival in San Francisco because I was living in Oregon at the time. So it's pretty cheap plane ticket to get down there. Went by myself, and I was like, I've heard of like all these people doing psychedelics at music festivals. It's going to be great. The visuals are going to be like super fucking trippy, bro. And it's going to be a great time. I'm going to have so much fun. So I get to the music festival, and I'm like in the line walking in, pretty long line. And this really isn't relevant to the acid part, but I meet this German guy. He's like extremely German.
Go on.
And he like told me he like flew to this festival to just to come to this from Germany. And I'm like, oh shit, that's crazy. And he brought a VR headset with him. And I was like, what's that for? You're gonna like wear it during the show? And he's like, yeah, man, this shit's gonna be crazy. It turns out he also had psychedelic drugs on him. And he was just going wild the whole time. So I like kind of hung out next to him while I could. So I think it was the second act. I was like, all right, this shit's going to last for a while. Got to do it now. Or I'm going to be like crazy freaking out once the festival ends and I'm like around all these people and it's quiet. And there's just people talking. So third act hits and all hell breaks loose in my brain.
Third act hits and so does the acid.
So I was feeling kind of anxious, but I was like having a good time, enjoying the music and everything. Fourth act hits, and I am in purgatory. My brain is like, hey, everything's insane, everything's moving around, and you're probably going to die.
Did you think you were going to die?
And I was thinking I was going to die because I know you've never done this, Josh.
Correct.
But you're like hyper aware of your surroundings and everything is very exaggerated.
But you have no control over any of it?
Correct.
That sounds like dreams.
And I keep seeing, it probably happened a lot less than I envisioned it, but I kept seeing people like passing out or something crazy, and like medical people would come by and like carry them out. And that like kept happening for me. But I'm sure it happened like every 3 hours or something, and I was just manifesting it. But
Every 3 hours? How long were you there?
it was a long festival.
It's like a.
It was like
an
10
all-day thing.
hours.
It's like a
10,
Yeah.
12 hours.
yeah, about a 10 hour.
But yeah, that kept happening. This was in San Francisco. Like I said, I was actually in Oakland, right across from San Francisco, so I could see the skyline. And I was looking at the skyline, and all the buildings were moving up and down. You know, when you look at like waveforms, it was like
Awesome.
it was like a music visualizer, which was fantastic in theory, except I was freaking out. So it was like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was also like all these giant shipping containers. They weren't giant. They were really far away for me. But the shipping containers were like all these different colors and everything. And it just looks like they were like constantly stacking each other like on top of each other and getting taller. So I was like way, way, way out there, like freaking out.
Sure.
So I'm like, I can't find the German guy, so I have no ground to like assure me that I'm okay. And there's no way I'm going to walk up to a stranger and be like, hey man, how's it going? I'm freaking out.
Are those buildings moving for you too?
Yeah, right?
Yo, I totally would at that point. I'd be like, hey man, I'm going to level with you. I need some help.
So I had to get out of the crowd because I kept seeing people getting sick or something like that. And I was like, fuck, that's me. I'm going to be sick any minute now. So I run to the
Sure.
porta potties in the back, which is a absolute experience. You know those like VR, or not VR, like 180 degree 360 cam is
Yeah.
what I'm talking about, like the 360 cam photos.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like walking to.
Like you were looking at yourself in third person. Basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was
That sounds awesome.
I was almost sprinting towards the porta potties.
So keep in mind, because Josh doesn't know
Yeah.
about the psychedelic fear
Right.
that comes from it, or for us two, anyways.
Yeah.
For some people, they're like into psychedelics. Like
Right.
they're like, yeah, I just want it to take me.
Yeah.
And
And
I'm like,
it's a lot of my friends that have mental illnesses that are like, yeah, this shit just like transports me and I'm totally fine.
oh no, not me, bud.
I have like medium anxiety, I'd say, and it's not mild. It's like a little bit more than that. Depression, not so much, but anxiety acid just ignites my anxiety. Unless I'm in like perfect conditions. So I was freaking the fuck out.
That's a question that I have, and I was thinking about it as you were telling the story. Like, people watch horror movies and they go to haunted houses and they do drugs that make them feel scared. Is there something pleasurable about feeling uneasy and scared?
No.
I mean, for some people, yeah.
Well, for some people,
but
yes.
like, why else would you do it? Why else would you want to watch horror movies? Why else would you want to go? Like, think about the haunted houses that, like, the cost of admission is a bag of dog food and you got to sign a waiver. And if you make it all the way through the night, you win like $10,000, but nobody's ever made it all the way through the night because the people are allowed to like fucking practically kill you.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, why do people do that?
Some people just like that shit, man. I don't know.
It
I'm not a
doesn't-
fan personally. Like I'll watch a horror movie because like that's fine. But like anything.
But what about it is like what's enjoyable about that?
Horror movies?
I don't completely disagree.
Yeah.
Where are you going with this, Josh?
Horror movies, psychedelics, similar impact. Like,
You say like spicy food too.
seems negative. Yeah, spicy food too. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, it hurts.
Uh-huh.
Like, people who cut, like
Sure.
you cut and it hurts. If you feel pain, I've never done it.
Yeah.
So I'm not speaking from experience, but like I had a friend who like would not show his legs from anything above the knee because of all the scars from all the cutting.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. And I just like the psychedelics things as you're telling the story, it's like you're not selling me on trying it. You
Okay,
know?
so I'll explain a little bit more backstory before I tell the rest. So this is the second time I had ever done it. The first time, I was at my own house with about 4 or 5 friends that I knew really, really well that were also doing it. Rob was also there, but he only stuck around for a few hours because he wasn't doing it, and shit got weird.
Yeah, you guys were running around in the streets screaming, and I was like, that's enough for me.
Yep. So first trip I ever had was absolutely incredible, life-changing experience. Got really close to some people because of that. My current girlfriend, actually, we did that together before we were dating, and it kind of kindled that relationship pretty early. But yeah, first experience is great. Really love listening to music and stuff on it. So I was like, yeah, doing this music festival sounds like a great time. Anyway, I'm walking in the 360 cam to the porta potties. I remember that I have headphones in my bag, so I'm just, because it's super loud everywhere and it was really overwhelming, so I was trying to drown it out with something else. Did that for about what felt like 3 hours, but it was about 20 minutes. And finally get out of there, and it's suddenly like really cold. And it wasn't just me. Like, I was looking around and people were like quickly lining up for merch, trying to buy sweatshirts and stuff, because it's the San Francisco Bay in September. So it's very unpredictable. San Francisco in general is just either it's comfortable today or it's really fucking cold, and there's no in between. Because it was like maybe 60, 65 outside, but it was like extremely windy, and it was like cold wind from the Pacific.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So I was now shivering and in this really bad headspace. So I ended up leaving before in like the middle of the main act, which it's like my favorite artist in the world. Like, I've idolized this artist more than anyone. It was Porter Robinson.
Yeah.
He like pretty much shaped my entire music taste. Old stuff's great, new stuff's great. Like, really idolize this guy. And I left in the middle of his set, if that tells you how bad I was.
Yeah.
I forgot to say, right after I got out of the porta potty, I also called Rob because I needed someone to ground me and tell me I was going to be like, okay. I don't exactly remember what I said. What did I say?
Yo, you called in a dead panic, and you were in San Francisco. I was here, so it's 3-hour difference. I'm on the East Coast.
Yep.
So it's like, it's like 1 a.m. my time, and Jimmy is calling me, which doesn't happen very often as is.
Yeah.
At the time, and I was like, holy shit, there must be an emergency. I got to figure out what's going on. So I answer, and I'm like, yo, dude, what's up? And he's like, hey, man, how's it going? And I'm like, oh, shit, what happened, buddy?
Yeah.
And so he's, like, shivering, kind of, it sounds like, on the phone. Like, everything's very shaky. And he's like, hey, is everything okay, man? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. What's up with you? Are you good? And he's like, yeah, I'm good. The buildings are moving. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's trying to explain. He's like, I did this acid, man. I don't know if it was acid. Fucking crazy shit, man. And I just hear like in the background.
That was a really good sound effect.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I was absolutely freaking out. And it made me feel better because a few weeks ago, at Will's party, one of my friends was telling me about a Bonnaroo experience from this year where they did acid for the first time in a really long time. And they were freaking out in the middle of also one of their favorite bands. It was Flume. And they were frantically looking around for someone that wasn't on something. And they were having difficulties because you're at Bonnaroo and everyone there is fucked up. So she finally finds someone and they're like, yeah, man, you seem fine to me. You're going to be okay. She's like, oh, thank God.
yeah,
It's exactly how I felt. I just need to talk to Rob and tell me, yeah, you're good. Everything's fine here. No problem.
yeah.
And that helped me out for a little bit.
You then I don't know if you called me twice.
I did call you again.
Yeah, you called me again. Yeah.
As I was leaving the festival, I left it early. Like I said, there's not like a parking lot to go to or like a Uber pickup area. You have to like get on a bus first to like get you out of that area. 'Cause it's like pretty far away from like the main city streets. So I'm on this bus and I'm on like the front row. And you know how like giant passenger buses have like the giant front window?
Yeah.
That's when I called Rob.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to tell him like all the crazy shit that happened, and I also needed to get grounded again because I was freaking out. And I remember telling him, and we still reference this to this day, and now it can be a new Appleboys public meme. I think I told Josh about this briefly too, but I was like, man, all these cars are like driving by, and I got this car in front of us, and it feels like we're in fucking Mario Kart, man. What is going on?
Yeah, and I don't know if I've ever mentioned this part of the story to you, but I don't know if you know this, but you were yelling on the bus.
Oh, boy.
Like, everything that you had said, you were saying, like, really loudly.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
It's also possible to have the microphone really close so it didn't sound like...
Oh, no. You were clearly, like, pushing your voice. Like, you were kind of yelling. Just, feels like fucking Mario Kart, man.
Right.
Like,
so,
oh, my God.
I'm freaking out, man.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So I get off the phone with Rob. I get dropped off at the BART station, which is the like San Francisco area transit. And I don't know if you are familiar with Oakland. It doesn't have a very good reputation for like crime rates and that kind of thing. And this was at nighttime at a train station. So like worst case scenario, right? I could have taken a train to my Airbnb and it would have been far cheaper. And it's a pretty quick ride. But I was like, there's no way I'm getting on a bus or a train right now. Like, who knows what people are going to be on this? I need to be in a vehicle by myself. And so I call an Uber. And Uber that picks me up is like this. It's like maybe a 2012, 2013 Prius. So like fairly new-ish. But it was beat to shit. It literally looked like, I don't know if, this wasn't just the drugs. Because I was still high as fuck at this point. This Prius has been beat to shit. So I got in it, and it's this like pretty old man. So I was like, better not talk to him. Like freak him out. But
that's every Uber I get. Just like, pretty old man. I better not talk to him.
Yeah, exactly. So that wasn't even the drugs saying that. It was just my inner voice. This guy is booking it to the Airbnb. Like, I don't know if this could have just been the drugs, but I felt like we were flying to the Airbnb.
You said that on the bus too, because you were going like 35, and you were like, "Fuck, it feels like we're going so fast." Yeah, I think it was probably the drugs.
But yeah, my Airbnb is not in a good part of town. I booked it super late, so it was a cheap Airbnb in a bad part of town. So he drops me off. I'm like immediately terrified that someone's going to mug me on the way in. Luckily, it was fine. My Airbnb room is also pretty shitty. Feels like it's dirty. So I still can't fall asleep because I am still just absolutely peaking at the Airbnb. So I just watch a bunch of YouTube videos on my phone. Go to sleep at like 4 a.m. Wake up at like 6 a.m. from my flight and fly out. Crazy times.
Oh, yeah.
Luckily, my flight was only like 45 minutes.
Yeah, that makes sense. But, yeah. No, you were feeling it whenever you called me.
My God, man. Never again. Like, I still have, like, bad flashbacks about that time.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
I think the moral of the story is don't do acid, kids.
I agree.
Okay. No.
Oh.
Do acid like I did the first time in a controlled environment, preferably your house that you're very familiar with, and be with people that you love that have no drama.
Okay.
That you're okay growing a lot closer to.
You're right. I should drop acid with my kids.
Yes.
That won't be weird.
No.
the Appleboys do not condone doing drugs with children, just for legal reasons.
All satire. All that was a joke.
That's true.
Gotcha.
Nice bit.
Thank you.
Good bit.
All that
Speaking
scripted.
of bits, let's wrap the show up by talking about what we have planned for the future. Is that okay?
Yes, but I have one thing to say really quick, and it's really quick.
Please go.
It's really quick.
Okay.
All right. Corey called me earlier.
Oh,
He's
yeah?
not here tonight, so I can tell this freely. I would tell this if he was here, too. He would just be chuckling about it before I got into the story.
It's uncommon for Corey to call you while he's doing something, like going
Yeah.
to a show or something.
Oh, no, he didn't call me when he was at the show. He called me,
Oh.
like, earlier in the day.
I see.
So he calls me, and I'm, like, talking about how, oh, by the way, Rob, health update from the incident. I'm feeling a little bit better. My ribs still hurt. My knee is healing well.
Thank you
Anyways.
for the update.
Yeah, if you didn't hear the last episode, I felt fucked down because I was super drunk.
Check it out.
Yep, check it out.
Check it out.
So he calls me, and last night my ribs kind of hurt a little bit, and this morning I slept in the same position all night, and apparently that's really, really bad if you have fucked up ribs.
Oh, yeah.
So he calls me, and he's like, hey, I was checking in to see if you want to go to lunch. And I'm like, no, ribs bad. And I start getting on a tangent about, work stuff, and I'm like upset about something, and I'm telling him about it. And he's just like, yeah, man, that sucks. And I could tell he's trying to get off the phone at this point. And he's kind of halfway paying attention.
Yeah.
And there's a silence for just a second. And then I just hear, but it was super, super clear. And I just start cackling. I'm like, what the fuck was that, man?
Oh, boy.
And he's like, it was my tummy. And I'm like, what do you mean it was your tummy? That shit sounded like it was coming from inside my head, man.
Yeah.
Like, how did you hold your phone up to your tummy? And he said, no, you're on speakerphone. My phone's on my tummy.
Oh, that's so good.
And
Oh, boy.
it was magical. I wish I had recorded
It sounded like his weird noises he makes during the podcast.
Yeah.
This is a good opportunity to test whether or not Corey listens to the podcast when he's not on it.
There's no fucking chance he's ever going to hear this.
All right.
No.
So I, as a general rule, hate talking on the phone with anybody. It doesn't matter. It's not an indication of whether I like you or not. I just don't like talking on the phone.
Same.
That is pretty obvious whenever I call you, because all of your phone outros are always like, yep, bye.
And it's
That's like it.
I promise it's not personal. Like,
I know.
It's just I feel awkward on the phone. I don't know how to just shoot the shit. Like I'm not good at talking on the phone.
Yeah.
My wife calls her mother like twice a day, every day, and they talk on the phone forever. And when we were dating early on, she wanted to call me all the time, and I was like, I love you, and I want to spend time with you, but like I don't know how to do this part. So let's just not do this part.
Yeah, the same thing happened with me and my current girlfriend.
Are you the talker on the phone or the non-talker on the phone?
Non-talker.
Yeah.
Like, we were long distance for a while, and I was like, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah, it's like I don't. It's not that I don't want to talk to you. I just I don't know how to do this part. And Corey is very much like my wife, where he wants to call me and just talk, just like, hey, how you doing? How's your day going? Like, how was vacation? How are your kids? How's your family? And I love that about Corey. I love that he's concerned, and I'm also concerned about how his life is going.
Yeah.
I genuinely am. It's not a thing where I don't care. I'm just really bad at the phone part of it because it's just not a thing that I've ever done.
Yeah.
So when he calls me, I'm always like super, super awkward. It's just like, yeah, man, things are good. Things are fine.
I feel
Yeah.
that. That's me.
Gotta go by.
No, me
let's not talk anymore.
me and Corey have had like 45-minute, hour-long conversations just accidentally before. Like,
So you and Corey are the same, and me and Jimmy are the
Yeah,
same.
yeah, a little bit.
Well,
Case.
I think me and Rob have similar conversations, but like we've been friends for so long and have like,
It's like, all right, gotta go, bye.
yeah, I think we've been friends so long and have like a million things in common with like music tastes and stuff like that. Like, we can talk for an hour and I don't feel weird about it.
Yeah, and I can generally tell when Jimmy's had enough.
Well, Corey and I also have a ton of stuff in common. Like, that's not the issue.
No, yeah.
I answer the phone and immediately feel like, unless it's, I'm calling because I need something specific and I need an answer. And it's like, okay, here's the answer. All right, bye. We're done with the conversation.
Yeah.
That's fine. But it's like, hey man, how you doing? Like, oh, I can't do this.
I don't know.
Like, I'm fine, but like, fuck you, go away.
Yeah.
And so, Corey, if you are listening, like, please don't stop being you. Please don't stop calling me. I love our conversations, but I just want you to know that whenever I seem impersonal and whenever I like hurry to get off the phone, it's just because I don't know how to do it.
I think I've experienced that with you on the phone.
It's not on purpose.
Definitely.
I promise. Like, it's a personality flaw. I'll admit it. But I just like.
Would you describe it as phone anxiety? Is that like the feeling?
It's not an anxiety thing. It's just like I don't know how to describe it. I just maybe it is phone anxiety. I don't know. Like I can't do it.
In general, I would say that I am like a 6 out of 10 on want to be on the phone scale. So I'm
a 0 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like, I don't ever want to talk to the phone with anybody.
I'm on the opposite side. I'm about a 4.
Yeah. I'm fine with it. And I know that because like there are certain people where like I'll spend a long time on the phone with them. I'll talk to them a lot. Like my mom, oddly enough, like I kind of can have that with her.
So I disagree with you, Rob. I think you're about an 8 out of 10 because I don't know if you've experienced this, but I will be like, "Hey, Rob, do you want to go to lunch?" And you're like, "Yeah, sure."
And then 25 minutes later,
yeah, and we'll arrive at the restaurant at the same time. I'll like see you, and I'll be like, "Hey, man," and you're like, if you didn't see me, because this is an audio podcast, Rob was on the phone, and he's just like, yeah, 1 minute. And just sitting there being like, yep, Rob's on the phone.
All right, in your mind, is this happening at a taco restaurant?
Almost always.
Okay, so I know exactly what event you're referencing, and that was with a client, and that gang can go fuck himself.
GFI.
It just happens so frequently.
Yeah. No, it does happen pretty often.
You're just a popular guy.
I don't know.
Either way, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, Corey, if you're listening, I'm sorry if I sound like an asshole sometimes. It's not intentional. I do like talking to you. I just rather talk in person or via text and absolutely not on the phone.
Yeah. You can't send memes while you're on a phone call.
It's true.
That's the hard part.
I just don't. I don't know what it is. I'm also an asshole to my parents. Like, I know one day I'm going to regret it, right? Like, I'm going to lose a parent, and I'm going to be like, I wish that I'd spent more time talking to them, or I wish I had, like, given them more. And it's not that. It's not that I don't want to talk to them. It's just I don't know how to do it.
I guess I'm going to go ahead and apologize to Jimmy's mom here. I'm kind of the same way.
Yeah, it's just
like whenever I talk on the phone with really anyone, I'm just like anxiously pacing around my house.
Let's get to the point,
yeah,
and then let's get off the phone.
Right. I'm just like I pace around like crazy.
Me too.
And I'm like trying to do anything else.
Please, anything but this. Like, stick 9-inch nails through each one of my eyelids instead of this.
Yep.
So
pretty much.
I mean, I pace while I'm on the phone, but it's like a happy pacing. I don't know.
It's not happy for me.
Yeah.
I am like,
I hate it.
If I could run around and talk on the phone, I would without panting.
Sure. Well, you know.
Maybe I need to exercise more so I can just run around.
It's so weird, too, because, like, I don't have the same problem if we're just having a conversation in person.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Like, I don't have a problem talking to people.
Oh,
We have a podcast. It makes sense.
I just...
I almost might be better on the phone than in person, weirdly enough.
Not
now
me.
that I think about it out loud, because even sometimes when I'm like telling stories, I'm like, oh, geez, I gotta perform now. I get kind of nervous.
Oh,
but,
man. All right. Well, we're starting to run a little long, so let's talk about what we have planned for our bonus episodes in the future, and let's wrap things up.
All right. Tell us, Josh. What do we have planned?
Tell us, Josh, what do we have planned?
So if you guys are Patreon subscribers, you're aware that we have...
You fucking should be.
If you're not, you should be. Patreon.com/Appleboys, or you can subscribe at appleboys.us. Either way is fine. You get the same benefits either way. Appleboys.us, I think, eliminates the middleman, so it supports us a little bit more, but we actually have had 0 people subscribe that way, so I don't exactly know how it works.
Should I change my subscription?
It's through Stripe, so it's secure. The credit card info never comes to us directly.
That's what we tell people for legal reasons. But, if you do subscribe to us through our website, you should probably check your Amazon account afterwards.
Yep. Rob's not wrong.
Umaibo.
Japanese snacks are on you this week, buddy.
Yep.
Anyway, patrons get the ability to request special topics and things like that, and they get access to bonus episodes. And we got 10 episodes out so far, bonus episodes, and we've got probably, 35, 40 episodes total if you include regular episodes and bonus episodes. About 40.
Something like that.
Yeah. So about a 1-to-3 ratio of regular episodes to bonus episodes. And some of the examples of the bonus episodes we've done have been just like cobbled together, stitched together, outtake type episodes. And then we've done Power Hour, where we did accidental double Power Hour. And we've done...
Don't do that.
Yeah, bad mistakes.
Moderating that was a trip.
Yep. And we did Edward 40 Hands, which I dominated.
You did.
And we've had funny things.
That video is live on Patreon now, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, you can watch the video for sure.
I put some, I edited that video, and there's some slow motion videos of each of the Appleboys screaming because the duct tape is being peeled off of their little hands.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We have plans for some of our future bonus episodes for our patrons, and really what we'd like to hear is some feedback from our audience about what they'd like to hear first, because we haven't decided how to prioritize things. So one of the things that we've talked about doing is an experiment to see how different alcohol types affect us differently. So we would do a 4 or 5 part series in which we exclusively drink things like rum, whiskey, tequila, vodka, maybe gin, 4 or 5 parts. And
it's just purely satirical. We're not alcoholics.
Right, but it's to see, like, do we act differently on one liquor than another?
We're doing Mythbusters Alcoholic Edition.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's an idea, and
it's not an idea. We're doing it.
We're gonna do it at some point for sure. That has been established by the Appleboys committee.
Oh yeah,
but
the board approves.
Yeah, the board of directors has already approved this.
Do we pay them?
No, they're volunteers.
Okay, good.
But that's gonna take some pre-planning because we got to get the liquor, because we're normally Miller Lite boys. So we got to bring the liquor in, and we got to figure out how we're going to do it. Is it going to be mixed drinks? Is it going to be shots?
Can you buy other alcohol at stores? Like, I thought there was only Miller Lite.
You're right, Jimmy. You've come a long way since episode 1.
Like,
true.
I just go to the
fired you on episode 1, and now look where you are.
I know.
We're
I've
so
come
proud.
full circle. Like, I only know how to go to the Miller Lite store.
We're so proud.
There's nothing else to buy.
So that's one idea, is that we're going to have a 4 or 5 part series with different liquors, and we're going to see how it affects us. So that's going to be fun, right? Historically, for me, Josh, when I drink tequila, one of 2 things happens. I either end up naked at the end of the night, or I end up in a fist fight. And once or twice, it's happened with both.
Does that mean
Been in
I
a
should
naked
record
fist
or
fight.
shouldn't record this?
It's up to you, Jimbo. Jimothy, it's up to you.
Rob's shaking his head.
There's going to be content that we can never, ever use.
Lawyers are not involved in this.
Yeah.
The board approves, though, so we're good.
All right. We just can't live stream it. Just
True.
in case.
No live streaming.
So the second set of ideas that we've had is that we're going to do bonus episodes where we legitimately impersonate other types of podcasts, right? So on one episode, we may do a true crime podcast where we pick a real true crime and we analyze it and we treat it just the same way that real true crime podcasts would. And then we'll have another one where we're doing a horror podcast where we have special effects, like we have voice actors and we have music and
The voice
sound
actor's
effects
just
and
gonna be
things like
me.
that. Yeah, it's going to be all of us, but
Yeah.
we're going to do like voices and we're going to
Oh yeah.
play characters and have a script and act and things like that. Ooh. Exactly. Stuff like that.
Just a little preview.
Yep. And then we're going to do maybe like music review, movie review, just maybe our normal shit. I don't
Yeah.
You know what we could do? We could
What's
do a comedy podcast
We just parody ourselves.
That would be funny if we like
if we were like funny for
made
once.
fun of ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
And then
You guys heard of NFTs?
we talked about doing an improv show where we would live stream it, right? And we would have people in the audience give us, like, we would ask a question or two and then we would legitimately like just come up with an improv thing on the spot. So things like that. And so there's a whole bunch of different ideas floating around in the head, but basically just, the idea of our current podcast format is not going to change. We're just guys hanging out at the bar. We're talking about whatever we want to talk about, but podcasting has been fun, right? And we've gotten to know some people that do other types of podcasts and things like that. We've listened to more podcasts since we've been podcasting, and we've learned techniques on editing and what we can do and what we can't do and things like that. And so being able to branch out and try other types of podcasts sounds like a lot of fun to us. So I think that's something we'd like to try at some point. And so anyway, we would love to hear from you guys, the audience, what you would like to hear first from us, because we're planning all this out, and it's, bonus episodes happen when they happen. So sometimes it's out of necessity because we aren't able to get through a normal episode because we pregame too hard or whatever the case may be. And then sometimes it's planned, like our Edward 40 Hands or our Power Hour or whatever. And these are all going to be planned, but so it's going to take some work to write scripts and plan out what we're going to do and get the stuff put together and all that stuff. So we just like to hear what our audience would like to hear first so we can know what to prioritize. So hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok at Appleboyspod, or preferably in our Discord at discord.gg/Appleboys. If you join our Patreon at patreon.com/Appleboys, you can message us directly that way. So lots of ways to get in touch with us, but just let us know what you think. Let us know what you prefer. We'd love to hear the feedback. Maybe even just leave it in a review at the end of this episode. You hear this episode, you want to give it 5 stars if you want to give it 5 stars, 1, 2, 3, 4, any stars. Some stars are better than no stars.
Based on the algorithm, I've heard that if you like us, you should absolutely give us 5 stars. If you kind of like us, you
5
should still
stars.
give us 5 stars.
5 stars.
Because apparently 5 stars is the only thing that matters to the algorithm. So 5 stars is great.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like 1 star just lets us know you listened.
But it lets the algorithm know that we're bad.
Yeah. The algorithm doesn't give a shit.
Fuck the algorithm.
All right. Well, all right. Yeah. Okay.
Just give us stars. I just want all the stars.
Yeah, you number generated bitch.
Yeah. So anyway,
Wow.
that's the idea of the upcoming bonus episodes. We just want to not change what we're doing. Like, we're going to keep doing what we're doing, but I think it would be fun to have an opportunity to branch out and do something a little bit different. And through the end of July, we have some pretty fun stuff planned. We've got a special guest coming at the end of the month and got a lot of stuff coming up. So looking forward to what we've got coming in the future, and hope you guys enjoy it. So with that, I think it's probably about time to wrap up this episode. Let the outro guy outro us. You guys got anything else you want to cover?
I don't reckon.
I mean, I've got a lot to say, but we don't have enough time for it.
Yeah, man.
Guess you'll just have to find out next time on Appleboys Podcast.
There's always more stuff to say than there is time to say it. Am I right?
True.
Time is a circle.
Time is a finite resource that we...
Time is a construct. It's a construct. Time is made up. Time is fake. Happy tonight.
Happy tonight.
Happy tonight.
You've been listening to the Appleboys podcast. I know. We're badass. We hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. Thank you for listening, especially premium subscribers. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hook up with us on Discord at discord.gg/Appleboys, on the website at appleboys.us, and Twitter and Facebook at Appleboys Pod. Happy tonight.